Good morning, peeps. I thought I'd do a video this morning as I completed, for the second time in my life, I completed the last few steps of the 12-step program of AA last night. It's just a little message to people so they get a bit of understanding of the program and what have you. Yes, I've broken my personal anonymity by making a video like this. I won't break anyone else's anonymity. My job is to be of help and service to people who may have a friend, family relation, or who themselves are suffering. And I'll give you a little bit of thing on AA to start with before I quickly run through what the steps are. First of all, AA is not a religious organisation. Was set up in 1935, so it's been going a long time. It's helped hundreds of thousands of people recover from addiction and alcoholism. There are various offshoots: Gambling Anonymous, Overeaters Anonymous, Codependency Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, but a lot of people know Alcoholics Anonymous. The anonymity is you do not reveal really your address and your full name. None of this information is required to attend. And the only requirement to attend a meeting of AA is the willingness to stop drinking. You don't have to stop drinking. It's the willingness to stop drinking. Now, a lot of people think that you get sober by going to meetings. No, you get sober by working the 12-step program of AA. The meetings are there to give you help and support and encouragement and love whilst you are working the 12-step program with a sponsor. The Big Book, or the Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, we call it the Big Book, doesn't actually use the word sponsor. They never had sponsors in those days. They had like a mentor. And the program was designed originally and worked originally that the 12 steps were worked quickly and fast. There's a lot of misnomers now that have crept into the meeting rooms over the years, that you've got to take it easy, you've got to work it slowly, do a step a year or a step a month, and the next step is dictated by your sponsor when you're ready to do it. It's all hogwash. There are clear and precise directions in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous on how to work this program. Okay, that's it. You work it quickly and thoroughly. And once you've done one step, you move on to the next. Once you've done that step, you move on to the next. Okay, there is no pausing, there is no waiting, because this disease kills people. Believe you me, I've seen it kill people. AA, like I say, uses the word God or higher power. It's a God of your understanding. If you have no faith, if you're agnostic, and you consider your higher power to be the rooms that you attend your meetings in, or you believe in a great universal spirit, or you believe in Buddha, Allah, Jesus Christ, God, and I've heard the acronym God can stand for a group of drunks, then that's fine. There is no requirement to be a member of a religious organization, and there is no requirement to have to join a church. That's it. It's a spiritual program of recovery, and spirituality covers a wide range of subjects and topics. And the reason it's a spiritual program of recovery, it is believed that David on his own, me on my own, cannot get well on my own. The program isn't David's program, and the advice I'm going to give isn't David's advice. If you listen to my advice, you'll end up probably dying, because I nearly did several times in the madness of addiction. It is a disease, all right? Alcoholism is a disease. There is a mental trigger that alcohol triggers in up here. It affects the alcoholic differently to the non-alcoholic. It triggers our endorphin reaction totally differently. Reacts totally differently to the non-alcoholic, which then turns, so you get a physical obsession, which becomes a mental obsession. So that you drink, the more you want to drink, and the cycle continues and continues and continues. Gaining sobriety, when you stop drinking, is where it begins. Okay? The relapse rate in AA at the moment is horrendous. And people relapse because they stop working the program, or they don't work it at all. They believe by going to a meeting every day, or twice a week, or 3 times a week, or as many meetings as they want to go to, will suddenly cure them of alcoholism. The fellowship is like an arch. You have 2 pillars to an arch: the fellowship of AA, which supplies support and help, and the 12-step program of AA. Now, the arch is not supported unless it has both pillars. I just want to say that. So what are the 12 steps that I've just reworked? Right, they're quite simple. Step 1, I'm going to have to read these. Step 1, we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol and our lives have become unmanageable. That's quite straightforward, isn't it? You know, I'm an alcoholic, and if I drink, I'm powerless over it, and my life became unmanageable. End of. Step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. It doesn't say you've had a religious experience. We came to believe that there is a power greater than us that could restore us to sanity. Because me on my own can't restore me to sanity. I came to believe, right? There's a great thing I heard, that there are 2 birds on a branch. One made a decision to fly away. How many birds were left? Well, there were 2 left. The bird didn't fly away. It made a decision that it was going to fly away. So we came to believe, step 2, that there is a power greater than ourselves that could restore us to sanity. Because as a drinking alcoholic, you're actually insane. Step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives to the care of God as we understood him. Right, now, this book was written in the 30s, so it says him. Okay, it could be her. It could, you don't have to take that literally, and you don't have to say the word God. You could say higher power, spiritual being, but we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to God. It doesn't say you turn your will and your lives over. Like I said about the birds, you made a decision to do that. But that's the first 3 steps, dead easy. They can be done in an hour. Okay. This is when the work starts. Step 4, we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. And we actually do this in writing. So you look at the harms you've caused, any resentments you have, your fears, a searching and fearless moral inventory. So you make a moral inventory of yourself. You look at all your flaws, not other people's, yours. It's not other people's, it's yours, it's about you. It's a selfish disease, and the only way to cure a selfish disease is with a selfish program. Step 5, we admitted to God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrongs. So you share what you've just written down in step 4 with yourself, with your higher power. For me, it is God. And to another human being. Now, that other human being could be your AA sponsor, it could be a priest, it could be a rabbi, it could be an imam, it could be a very good friend that's going to keep that confidence. Remember, you're going to reveal your inner secrets, your inner darkest, horriblest things that you've done whilst in the madness of alcohol to someone. You've got to trust that person. Step 6, we were ready to have God remove all these defects of character. These are defects in our character, and we were ready to have God, higher power, spiritual being, whatever you want to call it, to remove all these, right? It doesn't say he's going to, but we were ready to allow this to happen. Okay? Once you decided, yeah, I'm ready to have all these defects of character removed from me, you then humbly ask your higher power, God, or whatever you want to call it, to remove our shortcomings. Because we'll have years of shortcomings, years of resentments and fears and things we've done wrong, lies we've told. As an active alcoholic or addict, especially if you're a functioning one. I was a highly functioning alcoholic for many, many years. You are the best liar on the planet. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Step 8, this is where it gets a bit tough, and people get scared of this. We made a list of all the persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Right? You have to become willing to make amends. Right? Willing. Are you willing to make amends? You have to have willingness that you will make amends. That's step 8. So you make a list of everyone you've harmed. And there's a long list sometimes. Right? Step 9. This is the one that scared me the most first time round. And I had 7 years of sobriety. Sorry, I've got hay fever at the moment. We made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So wherever possible, you made a direct amends to someone. That's not going up and saying sorry. That doesn't work. We've said sorry so many times. Making direct amends is going to that person. You do not bring up their faults. You do not bring up anything they may have said or done which hurt you. It's not there. You're not responsible for them. You're responsible for your own self. So you go to somebody, you explain what you're doing, you explain that you are in recovery, and you explain that you're aware that you have done things in the past that may have hurt them, said things, whatever, and how can I make an amends to you? Some people will say, I'm just glad you're getting well. Some people will go shove that amends up your ass. You pardon my French, they will. I want nothing to do with you. I don't like you, and I don't want anything to do with you in my life. But you've attempted to make that amends. Some people you want to make amends to are dead. How can you do that? So how can I make amends to my grandparents? Well, I can write a letter and read it at their graveside, or I can write a letter and read it out loud, and then bin it. You can keep it if you want, but it's not going to do any good. The past is the past. But you became willing. Some people you can't find. Some people you don't even know their full name. You know, if you were morally corrupt, as I was, and behaved in a disgusting manner as I did, there are ladies out there I don't even know their first name that I owe amends to. But if I came across them in future life, I'm willing to make amends. Step 10. Now, in the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it doesn't say you have to make all these amends before you move forward. You're willing to make amends. You then go on to step 10. You don't pause during these steps. You only pause to meditate and contemplate on what you've just finished. And if you feel, and and it's not your sponsor to dictate the speed. You dictate the speed. You ask your sponsor, do you feel, in your opinion, I'm ready to do the next step? Okay? Step 10. This is about the daily program of recovery. You can quit drinking and you can white knuckle your way through life. Dry alcoholism, it's known as, where the alcoholic just survives on a daily basis by going, I can't have a drink. There's no quality of life. There's no joy in life. Once you've done steps 1 to 9, you've cleaned away the wreckage of your past. Now you've got to move forward and look forward. Step 10, continue to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admit it. There's an exercise you have to do every evening, and it's in the book. There's 10 practices you have to do every evening before you go to sleep. You make an inventory of the day, every day. I'm not going to run through that in this video. I'll do it in another video. But it's was I selfish? Was I resentful? Was I angry? Was I fearful? You know, did I tell any lies? Do I owe anyone an amends today? For example, if you're in a queue at the bank and there's a new bank clerk on, and you get to the front of the queue, you've been waiting for 10 minutes, you're late for an appointment, the clerk doesn't really know how to use the system properly, they can't find your account number, you want to pay a check-in, and you're a bit rude and abrupt, and you're like, look, come on, I'm late for a meeting here, you know, surely you can find my account, I've been a customer here 10 years, for, you know, blimey, come on, what's wrong today? At night, when I'm reflecting on my day, do I owe anyone an apology? I think about my day, what I did, and you know, I might have 100 things to do, and I suddenly remember, yeah, the way I spoke to that person in the bank was not right. I was out of order. I'd go in tomorrow to the bank and say, excuse me, I want to apologise for the way I behaved yesterday. I was totally I was rude to you. I was wrong. I was out of order. I'm so sorry. You know, that's, you continue to take a personal inventory daily. Step 11 is another maintenance step about keeping sober and living a joyous, free lifestyle. We sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand him or her. God, your higher power, praying only for his knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. So we ask our higher power every day, thy will, not mine, be done. There's a morning process which involves first thing in the morning when you first open your eyes. Okay, there is some guidance that you have to do. Now, AA doesn't tell you many things you have to do, but it makes suggestions. It suggests you go to a meeting. It suggests you do this. There are things you have to do to stay sober and spiritually clean. One of them is on awakening. Okay. You say some things. Some people call them prayers. Some people call them, I don't know what the other word is. I would say prayers. It takes 5 minutes of your day in the morning. You say the third step declaration, There's a 7-step declaration. A nice prayer is the prayer of St. Francis, followed by some meditation. Now, meditation is a strange one. Basically, prayer is asking for something. Meditation is listening. You never pray for anything for yourself. You know, that doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Your higher power does not work like that. The great universal spirit does not work like that. You pray for their willingness, for them to help you through the day. And as you go through the day, when you face indecision, when you feel yourself losing your temper, when you feel yourself building resentment, there's nothing wrong with you closing your eyes for 5 minutes. There's a great prayer in AA called the Serenity Prayer. A wonderful prayer. I wear it out when I'm fighting technology. And when I'm fighting my laptop, I wear the Serenity Prayer out. I say it so much. If someone cuts you up in traffic, you might have that flash of anger. And when you get an opportunity, say at the next red light, you close your eyes and you just calm down. Don't build a resentment. Don't get angry. Step 12 is the most important step of all, I think, in my opinion. It's only David's opinion. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and carry the practice in these principles in all our affairs. Honesty, integrity. You carry the principles of AA in all your affairs. And what I'm doing this video is, hopefully, I'm reaching out to people. There may be people out there that think they're an alcoholic, that know of someone who they feel is an alcoholic. Right? You can't go up to someone and say, I think you're an alcoholic. It doesn't work like that. Because we don't like being told the truth. When I approach somebody that comes to me and says, Dave, I think I've got an alcohol problem, I tell them my story, my recovery. And if they can identify with it, then I may recommend that they seek help and guidance. If they want to go to an AA meeting, they can do that. The problem with AA meetings, and the problem I'm finding with AA meetings, that message I've just given has been watered down so much that you'll meet people in AA that will come up to you and say, take it easy, work it slowly, do it, take it very steady. Go to as many meetings as possible, meet for coffee, call your sponsor daily, all these things. Your sponsor does not have the answer to life. When a problem arises, you don't pick up the phone to your sponsor and say, look, I've just kicked off at someone. You actually close your eyes and you pray. A good sponsor will say, well, did you pray on it? You see, if you know someone in AA who's a plumber and your boiler's broken, There's nothing wrong with calling that person up and saying, look, my boiler's broken. I don't know how to fix it. I know you're a plumber. Can you come and help me? Okay. That person who's an alcoholic, if you want opinions and guidance from alcoholics, go to a bar. You'll get plenty. But if you want real sobriety, then the first 162 pages of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous will give you sobriety, long-term sobriety, give you peace of mind, and it will change you. It really will. And there are promises in the book which will happen and get fulfilled. I just hope this video is given everybody a little bit of understanding of what is AA, what isn't AA, and what the 12-step program is about. It's working it again, reworking it again, being sober again, and I'm never going to be a recovered alcoholic. You can't recover from this illness. I use the analogy that if I woke up in a hospital bed with a life support machine and a mask on because I suddenly developed an allergy to peanuts, and the consultant came to me and says, David, you've developed an allergy to peanuts. You can never eat a Snickers bar again. I'd never eat a Snickers bar for the rest of my life. The trouble with alcoholics is you can wake up in a hospital bed and you're told you don't drink again. And for 2 or 3 days you won't. And then something will happen. Something bad may happen. Something good may happen. Nothing may happen. I've heard it said an alcoholic will celebrate the opening of a packet of cigarettes by having a drink, or opening an envelope by having a drink. They'll drink when they're sad. They'll drink when they're happy. They'll drink when they're bored. That's no way of life. You can't live like that. You have to work a program of recovery. I hope this video has been of use. It's a little bit more serious than the nonsense I normally post, but I feel there's a message to be given. And I today woke up, I did my 12-step work first thing this morning, before I got out of bed, before I had my cup of tea, before I did my physiotherapy. I worked the program of recovery as written in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. I hope this video's been of some information to people. I hope people understand a little bit more about the program of recovery. And I hope that anybody out there that's going to meetings or in AA understands that there is a program and you have to work it. It's in the first 162 pages of the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous. Anyway, bad peeps, have a blessed day and take good care.